Well, I've collected the next one. What have I done? Right, well, it's or what is left of a 1965 Triumph Spitfire. I'm pinning all my hopes on one thing. The reg. I'm waiting for the logbook to come back, and I'm hoping that's going to be transferable. Other than that, it'll have to go on eBay as it is. I bid on it a very, very small amount, and the auction finished. I was the highest bidder, but obviously nowhere near reserve. Copart rung me up and said, this is the reserve, which was 10 times what I bid. But he would take twice what I bid. So he was knocking 75% off. So I said, well, send it through on the app. I'll have a little look, because I'm bidding on other things. I haven't got time to look at it now. Send it through on the app. I'll have a little look, and if I want to go for it, I'll accept it. Anyway, they sent it through. I forgot about it. Then the next morning, I got a notification to say I'd won it for my original bid. So 10% of what the reserve was. Anyway, let's unwrap it and see what's under there. Right, well, what we got? We've got an engine. That looks all right. We've got suspension. We've got a chassis. Got a radiator. Got a windscreen. We've got bumpers. We've got interior. We've got seats. We've got a hood tonneau type arrangement. There is a foldable hood in there. Obviously, we've got a set of wheels. We've got loads of bits in here. There's lights and buckets and corner bumpers and all sorts of stuff. More bits in there. Oh. It's got a few gauges on there. So I don't think it's too bad. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Obviously, I've got no doors, bonnet, boot, none of that. I've got no panels. So got an exhaust and stuff. The fuel tank's in there. Got a fuel tank in there. So I don't know what we've bought, but fortune favours the brave, doesn't it? Let's see. Right, well, I've got it here. I've got the rad off. So now I'm going to see, I've borrowed a 38mm socket from my neighbour. So I'm going to see whether the engine rotates. The battery that's on it's dead. It's still got a generator as opposed to an alternator. So I think, as nothing else has been changed, I'm guessing it's going to be positive earth. But I'm just going to see if the engine rotates. Oh, 3. Yeah, it rotates. There's a bit of compression there. I don't know how much it's supposed to have, but gets to there and then it goes past. So yeah, well, at least it rotates. That's a good thing. So let's just check. Stick it in gear. Now it wants to move. So that's good. Right, so that all works. Can't get it in neutral now. There we go. Right, so a little update on the fender. Yesterday I started it, pulled it outside. Used it to jump start the P38 because that was having starting problems, and then it died. I went back to it, tried to fire it, it turned over and over and wouldn't start, and then all of a sudden all the live went, had no power at all. So I had a look under here and we have a melted isolator. You can't really see because there's too many other things for it to focus on, but yeah, you can see, sort of see it's melted. Now I don't know what that's about because the Anderson plug on the back down there, which I use to jump start the Range Rover, is actually straight onto the live of the battery. So it hasn't gone through that, so I don't know what's causing that. So what I'm going to do is take it all off the isolator, go out to my junction box. I've taken the cover off, take everything off and put things on again and see what isn't happy. So here we go. Hopefully it don't catch fire. Right, as a little test, I've wired up this little fuse. I've connected it to the wire that goes out to the distribution block with a 10 amp fuse in. So if I touch this on the battery and it pops, we know we've got something shorting out somewhere. So there you go, it's popped. Oh, has it? No, it hasn't popped. There was just some electric going through it. So let's try it again. Right, so we've got that on. Let's try something low draw. So let's try the CB. No, we've got no power up there. Oh no, there we have. It just didn't make a good connection. Right, so that's a good sign. So that means nothing is, well, I don't think anything's shorted out forwards. So technically we should be able to put that cable straight on the battery and we should be able to start the truck. Fingers crossed. Let's just make sure, well, unless something else shorted that out, but we will see. Yeah, time to test. Right, we still didn't have the truck starting, so I've just come to check the electrics, and the fuel pump wire has been cut or has split. So I wonder if that's what shorted it out, whether that was touching the fuel pipes or something, and that shorted it out. So I'm going to put another end on that and see what happens. Right, and there we go, it's running. So that must have been what it was. The fuel pump wire must have broke and shorted out on the fuel pipes and done some electrical wizardry. So we're alive again, thank God for that. Now I've got to get a new isolator. Right, well the new switch has arrived. As you can see, this one is pretty damn melted. So we've got a nice new one. I still don't really know, well, I'm guessing it's that fuel pump wire, but I don't know. I'd have thought some wiring would have burnt out further along before this did, but anyway, let's stick the new one on and then we can get back to normal. Range Rover's died again. Right, well that meant I had to use a Defender the next day. So I took it over with the trailer to my friends and borrowed his Discovery 2. Went off to Rochester and Kent to collect an MGTF. Sat in loads of traffic on the way back. And then broke down. Called the AA. They come out in 20 minutes, they were brilliant. And repaired my split top rad hose. So it got me all the way back again. Time to change back in the Defender and then head home to work on the Merc. Right, well the new track rod end is on, so now time to put the wheels on. Then we'll double check the gearbox fluid level and then drive it in the yard and see whether the ABS works or not. Well, so far so good. The ABS light is out. So fingers crossed a clean of the sensors has done the job. We'll have to get it on on the way to the MOT, I suppose, because we can't really take it for a road test, but yeah, fingers crossed. Right, changing the brakes on the Merc because it was advised on the MOT, so I'm just going to change them. You've got to undo your brake retaining nut first while it's still got a bit of a grip on it. Then you've got to knock these pins out, and then you can pull the spring out, and then obviously the pads. Then undo the caliper on the back, because it's two 17mm bolts, and then we can get the disc off. I think they've definitely seen better days. Right, because of the lip on the disc, the pad isn't coming past, so I'm going to have to undo the caliper to get the pad out. Well, thanks to Mikey, he come and cut this bit out and welded it all back in nicely. So I've just chucked a bit of underseal under it and then a bit of paint over the top just to protect it. So now we can go for, and I've just had, not that you can see, but I've just had the puncture done on this wheel, so I'm going to put this wheel back on and then we're going to take it for a retest. Fingers crossed. Right, well it passed. All the advisories were done, so we've got a very clean bill of health. So that's that for this one. I'm going to list it for sale, get it moved on. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you very soon in another video.